Wow. Oh yeah, Samu.
DJ Breezy.
Mirazi.
Wow, bodam.
No shame.
Yay.
Ja. Oh, better pop.
What?
Irada Sembiaba.
Castro. D Black.
Mirazi.
Hey guys, welcome to the Kiwabita channel. This is Cheryl, and today we can talk about the top 5 things you need to know when you're planning a holiday to Malaysia. So, the 5 top things. 1. Transportation, of course. Secondly, telecommunication. Thirdly, accommodation, travel, and what is Malaysia if not for the 5th? Food. Alright, let's start off with the first one. But before we go there, let's talk a little about the climate. Malaysia is a tropical country, so trust me when I say it is really hot here. Really hot. It's like almost 11 at night and I'm using the air conditioner, so it's super hot at this point. Hot and humid, so you want to travel light, casual, but do take into account it is a Muslim populated country, although we have a lot of Malaysian, Chinese, Indians and other races here in Malaysia. Muslim populated, so beware of your dressing. You can wear sleeveless and shorts and things like that, but just don't wear your bikini and walk around. That's just so not what you should do. So when you come into Malaysia, you're going to be traveling and coming into either KLIA terminal or you'll be going into KLIA 2. Okay, once you reach, how do you get from the airport to the city, okay, or any other part of Malaysia? So what I would suggest is there's about a couple of ways of transportation. You can use the shuttle bus from the airport, you can use the high-speed train, or you can take a taxi. So let's go one by one, yeah? So if you're going to take the shuttle bus operates every 30 minutes from about 5:30 in the morning till about 12:30 at night, okay? And it is about $8, 8 ringgit, yeah, $8, 8 ringgit, RM, 8 ringgit Malaysian, okay, 50 cents, okay, if you do it online, if you book online. But if you book it, say through the counter and you get a ticket at the counter, then it's going to cost you like RM 10 ringgit. Just to give you an understanding about the currency in Malaysia, if we look at USD, $1 is about RM 4 ringgit in Malaysia, so it's really cheap, yeah? Okay, so besides the shuttle bus, you can take the KL Transit or KL Express, which is the fast-speed train. If you look at KL Express, it is about 33 minutes to KL Central, okay? And if you take the KL Transit, okay, they call it KLA Transit, then it takes about 39 minutes because it stops. But KL Express goes directly to KL Central, okay? Even when we talk about the shuttle bus, right, it's all going to KL Central, so you're still going to the same location. But here you're paying RM 40 ringgit instead of just 8 ringgit, 50 cents. Yeah, you're paying RM 40 ringgit. But of course, it's going to be much faster, yeah? Okay, next thing you can use is a taxi, like I mentioned. About 70 ringgit and above, depending on what kind of make car taxi driver you get sometimes. Okay, so those are some things you want to keep in mind. Okay, if you take a taxi in Malaysia, always get a metered taxi. So in the airport, you will need to go to the counter before you can actually take a taxi. Otherwise, you're going to meet a lot of weird people who are going to try to cheat you. So do get the coupons, or if you're much smarter, I would suggest you download the apps. Download Uber. I'm sure you are familiar with Uber. It's an international organization. What happens is private drivers in Malaysia will actually download this app. You request for a ride. If they're around the area, they'll pick you up and they'll quote you a price. So no way you can get cheated that way, yeah? So, but Uber only uses credit cards, so you want to be aware of that. My Taxi, now known as GrabCar, a Malaysian company that does something similar to Uber. Private drivers or even other taxi drivers will have this app. Again, they quote you a particular price range from RM, so maybe 70 to 90, depending on where you're going. And you will have a rough idea of how much you're going to have to pay. So that's really good for foreigners or even any Malaysian actually to move around Malaysia. So that's something you want to use, taxis, but use the apps. Okay, another way of transportation is actually renting a car. So you can get between RM 60 to 70 ringgit and above, depending on the make and what kind of car. I would suggest you get a Myvi. It's compact, easy to travel, very reliable car. It's usually about 80 to 120 depending on how new the car is. Yeah, you can rent from private owners, small businesses, or more established companies. What's going to differentiate one service from the other would be how they treat you, and maybe how long you have to take the car and the deposit and things like that. Yeah? Okay, so moving on. Second, telecommunications. You need a SIM card. If you're going to travel in Malaysia and you're constantly in need of data, my suggestion is to get a SIM card because it's really cheap. It's only like RM 10 ringgit. So get a SIM card from Digi or Maxis. Some people use Telecom, but I would suggest between Digi and Maxis, either one operators are quite good. So if you get that SIM card, it'll be easy for you to make data calls, and you can also make calls to any part of Malaysia or even overseas, depending on how much of credit you have. And you can easily top up in 7-Elevens and any sundry shop or even the shopping malls. Okay, but just to let you know, Wi-Fi is easily accessible throughout the whole of Malaysia, unless of course you're deep in the jungles. Okay, and you can get it in like cafes, breakfast cafes, Starbucks, shopping malls, practically every hostel and hotel will have Wi-Fi. So if you're not really heavy on data usage, then you might not decide to retain your international number and just use Wi-Fi, right? Because you can use Viber and WhatsApp calls to connect with people. So that's another option you have. Okay, moving on to the third one. We have accommodation. So where shall I stay? How much is it going to cost me? If you're looking for a really budget stay, you can stay at hostels in Malaysia for about RM 30, 35 ringgit. Okay, and if you're looking at more established hotels, not 5-star, maybe 3 to 4-star, which are quite good, you can look at about RM 150 ringgit to 200, 250 ringgit for hotels in that range. Of course, if you're looking for more high class, then it can go up to thousands. Yeah. So, and another thing you can use, of course, I'm sure you heard of it, Airbnb. So private individuals actually rent out their rooms, sometimes their whole apartment, and that's another option. But just be careful. Make sure you verify who you're going to stay with, and make sure the lines of communication are clear so there's no mishap. I mean, it's relatively safe, but like anything else, you have to be careful, yeah? This is a tip. Okay, moving on. Travel. If you're in Malaysia, you can travel cross country. Okay, you can travel by plane, like say Langkawi and Penang is about 1 hour plus away, okay, from the KL city. And in Langkawi there are beaches and you can go sightseeing and things like that. It's really fun, and it's duty free. So like alcohol, if you're a big drinker, it's dirt cheap for you. It's gonna be dirt cheap, so you don't have to pay any taxes in Langkawi. When you're in Langkawi, everything is duty free. So chocolates are cheap, corningware is cheap. It's really, really good. Otherwise, if you decide to go to Penang, my favorite, okay, you can actually see a lot of culture. It's a it's a UNICEF cultural heritage site. So you're gonna actually UNESCO. I don't mean UNICEF. UNESCO cultural site. Yeah, UNICEF. What's wrong with me? A cultural heritage site. Yeah, and there's a lot of history in the city, in the island, I mean, and it's really, really beautiful. There are beach areas that you can go around, and the food is spectacular. I'll talk about the food later. Yeah, you can also go to Malacca, which is about 1 hour from Penang. Not by flight though. You have to actually take a car, drive down to Malacca. It's a little jammed up though, so you might want to choose to go there on weekdays rather than weekends. Since you're already on holiday, right? Okay, or if you like the whole beach scene, pristine waters and clear and things like that, you might want to go towards the east coast of Malaysia. Go to Pulau Redang, Pulau Langtengah, Pulau Perhentian. Those are kind of places that you might want to go. It's really, really beautiful, yeah, and it's not really been damaged, so it's a spot you want to look at for a very nice, relaxing holiday, if that's your cup of tea, yeah. And that's traveling, yeah. So Going to the last one, food. Oh, I love food. You cannot leave Malaysia without going to Penang if you want to get really, really good food. Yeah, nasi kandar is really, really big in Penang. Claypot biryani. Okay, nasi kandar is different dishes with rice and curries. But if you're someone who cannot take spicy food and maybe not so big on the curries, then I would lay off the curries a little bit, just play around with the dishes. Okay, claypot biryani, they make it in a clay pot. It's like fragrant rice with spices. It's really, really very tasty. The chicken is kind of grilled in the clay pot. Okay, it has a grill kind of taste, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's amazing. You can try chicken rice while you're in Malaysia. It's like steamed chicken or roasted chicken with rice, steamed rice, okay, which is kind of boiled with chicken soup, so you have that this nice fragrant kind of smell. And of course, one thing you can't live without when you're coming to Malaysia for breakfast is nasi lemak. It's rice, a coconut milk rice with anchovies, peanuts, and a little bit of sambal, like it's a spicy kind of a, I don't know how to explain it actually. It's like a little bit a dry curry kind of thing. Okay, and it's extremely tasty. Sometimes it's sweet, a little sweet and spicy. Sometimes it's really spicy depending on which stall you go to. It's only about RM 1 ringgit to 150, so dirt cheap, dirt cheap, and it goes amazing with a cup of coffee. Okay, but if I go on about food, I'll never finish this video. So those are the top 5 things you need to know when planning a trip to Malaysia. So I hope you have an amazing stay in Malaysia, and I hope this information has helped you a lot. So if you like this video, thumbs up. Okay, comment if you want me to talk about anything else, because I've just gone through this 5, but if there's anything else you'd like to know more in detail,
Wow.
please leave a comment.
Oh,
Tell me
yeah,
what you
someone.
want. Please
DJ
subscribe to my
Breezy.
channel,
Wow,
and I'll catch you later. Bye guys.
Yay!
Oh, better pop.
What?
Raja Sembia.